How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another tutorial. In this one we are going to go through the shading for the pyro effect coming off the missile slash rocket. So yeah, let's get into this. First of all, I want you to go down to your materials, to the volume section, and just add on a basic smoke onto this pyro effect here. Then we want to go into the settings. This is where we'll be doing what we did basically on the explosion for the back of the launcher. Uh, so what we're going to do is we're just going to go in, mess around with a couple of settings. So I'm going to start off with maybe go with a 3. For density, we want it quite thick but not too thick. I think we want it to disappear a bit at the back. Come down to the fire. We do want a little bit at the front, I think. Not too much, but just a little bit just to see. We'll come back to this section here actually. Oh, no, we'll just change that to that. Okay. On the density of the smoke, we'll just add it to 10. We'll just let it load real quickly. Okay. So we've got a bit more thickness to the smoke. Let's go on to the fire. Let's go on to the noise of the fire intensity field and just enable it. And we'll come down and we will bump it up to 10 by 10 by 10. Hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit more fire here. Shouldn't be too much. Yeah, that's perfect. What we're going to do though is we are going to increase the temperature to maybe 2. It's not too bright. That's looking ace, that is. Okay. Now we're going to go back to general. I'm just going to mess around with a bit more of this smoke, I think. I don't think we've got enough thickness to it. I'm just going to bump that to 5. It's getting there. Let's go on to the smoke field now. See what it does when we add the noise into this. Okay, so that adds in a lot of smoke. I'm gonna just quickly get a better view of this. Go back into the scene view and just move the camera a little bit if it wants to load for us. Okay, so I'll just move the camera to this position so we can get a better view of the whole pyro effect coming out of it. And this noise is actually wearing onto me a little bit. I actually do kind of like it. I like the effect that it's bigger here but then goes a little bit smaller there. But I still think it's not the kind of style we need. So I'm just going to disable that and I'm just going to up the shape of it. So I'm just going to change it from 10 to 100. So now you can actually see we're getting a little bit of shadows in there. You can actually see different parts of the smoke, which is looking quite cool at the moment. We've got the little fire effect at the front, which I think just adds in a bit more to this effect. At the moment, I'm enjoying what this looks like. I think I'm just going to change this. Just up it by 1 more. Not too much. That looks good. I'm quite happy with that, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this uh, like do a quick render, and I'll come back to you guys when this is finished. Okay, so what we've got here now is the what it would look like if it was rendered out, and I do like the effect of it being really thick smoke, but then I think that's more for like an actual rocket that would go into space, not a small little rocket coming out of a rocket launcher. I think the actual smoke itself needs to be a little bit thinner, maybe be able to actually see through it. So for that, I'm just going to change the density of the smoke field. So instead of 100, I'm just going to put it down to 50. We'll see what that looks like. Still, it's quite thick. Maybe put it back down to 10. Just at the moment looks quite good. Maybe just a little bit higher than 10. Maybe a bit. Just bump it up to 20. That looks good. Maybe change the density scale. Just take it down by 1. I think that's it. Okay. So overall, I'm happy with that pyro effect coming out of the rocket. What we need to do now is match the actual fire and smoke color to the previous pyro effects coming out of the back of the launcher. So I'm just going to change it from front camera to view all. I also need to turn on the actual pyro effect, just like that. And we'll see what this looks like now. So what I did as well, guys, after the shading tutorial for the pyro effect at the back of here, I did mention to just go on and just mess around and get the best look you could get, and I did come out with something similar to this, which I thought went nicely because I did a bit more research onto actual rocket launchers being fired, and it wasn't much smoke to begin with. Maybe if the rocket was like a few more yards in front, this would start turning into smoke, but since it's such a short distance, it should still be fire, basically. So I left it as the fire. I'm quite happy with that. So we need to change this fire in here to look a little bit more this kind of color. So let's go back into our basic smoke for our trail, and we're just going to up one of these. We're going to up the color temp. I'm going to put it to around about 7,500. See what that looks like now. Looking a little bit more red than what I want. What I'm going to do is, because I only want this section of the render to actually render out for us, is I'm going to hold down shift and just make a box. So whatever we change will only change this little bit in here. Okay, so that's made it a little bit more red. We don't really want the red, so we're going to turn this down a little bit. I turn that down a little too much, yeah. Let's put that to 0.1. That's looking the right colour. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that actually, guys. I'm very happy with that. What you guys can do now is, since that's all done, you can change all the effects. You can go into the explosion material, you can go into the trail material, and just change all these, tweak to your environment and your preference. Okay, so that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you guys later.